All right. This is going to be about pyramid schemes and sales and Social Security and insurance annuities. There's a lot to go over, but I think it's important because there's a lot of confusion. Oh my goodness. Basically, let's start off with what a pyramid scheme is and isn't. Whenever you see a organization where there are more underneath the people above them than there are vice versa, it looks like, oh my goodness, that's a pyramid scheme. Not necessarily, because every organization is structured that way. Every single organization out there, you're going to have fewer people up top than you're going to have down below. So it's got to be something more complicated than just being able to draw a triangle on a whiteboard or a blackboard, right? In fact, every sales staff in every company is organized in a similar fashion. You might have a company with a vice president of sales who then has regional sales managers underneath him, and then those regional sales managers have sales staff underneath them. Well, every step along the way, they're going to get a cut. The vice president of sales will get a cut from the sales managers, the regional sales managers, and the regional sales managers will each get a cut from their sales staff. And this provides a very economically valuable service because it incentivizes the vice president to hire the best, most productive managers. And it incentivizes the managers to hire and maintain the most productive and effective sales staff. If their income is influenced positively by the productivity of those underneath them, then they have a vested interest, not only in picking out the correct people to hire, but also in maintaining the quality of those hires through training programs and things of that nature. So there's every incentive for a company to structure sales in that fashion, which is why pretty much every company does. If there's a sales staff involved in a company, then they're going to be organized in a similar fashion. Now let's look at Social Security. What is Social Security? Well, let's go back to the triangle because it tells us who pays what. All right, you can pause that and take a look at it, draw it down on your own piece of paper. The way Social Security works is when you pay for Social Security, that money does not get saved in some account for you. All right, that money immediately gets spent on current Social Security recipients. Your money going into the federal coffers for your Social Security payments is being used for those currently being paid. You're paying for previous generations. All right, now this system is fine technically as long as each successive generation of taxpayers is larger than the previous generation. Once you get to a situation where people are having fewer children and your generations are shrinking in size instead of growing, that's when we have problems. We don't want a system that starts looking like this, smaller and smaller generations, because then the pyramid turns upside down and it collapses under its own weight. All right, well, why did I bring up annuities? Because annuities are a private option when it comes to planning for growing old. Vast majorities can't just continue working until they die. You're going to suffer some kind of just a consequence of aging that will get you to a position where you can't work. And if you can't work, how are you going to continue to live? You need to have a source of income, and an annuity provides you with an elimination of the risk of outliving your income. This is the way an annuity works. You would buy an annuity from a life insurance company. This is one of a variety of products they offer when it comes to estate planning. You can ask any insurer that sells life insurance. More than likely, they'll also sell annuities. You pay a lump sum. All right. This lump sum is determined by their actuaries. They will look at your risk factors. They'll look at your diet, your health history, and did you smoke? Did you do drugs? They'll look at everything. Okay. And they will figure out when you're likely to die. Now, no one knows when you're going to die, but insurance companies can make a really good guess. Okay, because they compare your statistics with the statistics of everyone they've ever insured that's been similar to you. So again, they're not going to get it spot on more than likely, but they'll get really close. There's always going to be exceptions. There's going to be those people who buy the annuity and then die the next day. But there are also going to be people who buy the annuity and live for another 30 years and don't die till they're 115. Those exceptions will always exist, and they kind of equal each other out. All right. The windfall gains of the insurance company for the people who buy it and then die the next day are taken care of by the people who buy the annuity and then live 15 years longer than the insurance company planned. It all equals out. That they're in the risk business. You're not going to stay in the insurance business very long if you're not decent at analyzing risk and taking care of it. But the key difference between Social Security and an annuity is that Social Security, you're being paid money that's taxed from younger generations. An annuity, you're being paid from your own money. You pay a lump sum, let's say 100 grand, and you'll get like $800 a month for the rest of your life until you die. All right. So that money that you get is your money. It is literally, in every way you can think of, it is yours. All right. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about an annuity system breaking. You do have to worry about Social Security breaking. It's just a matter of time. It's basic arithmetic. Okay. And Social Security is actually worse than a Ponzi scheme because you don't have a choice. You're stuck in it. A Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, it functions like Social Security, where you attract an investor. They give you money because you're promising them these incredible returns. And you then take that money, all right, and you can use it on whatever you want. But the key is you've got to keep this guy happy. So you've got to go find some more suckers to give you their money. You'll take some of their money and you'll give it to the first guy. Say, see, look at these great returns. And what does he want to do? He wants to plug that money right back in, see if he can get more. And plus, now you have proof that you can show the other guys that you got the money from. See, look, I'm a man of my word. And you use this to attract more and more investment. But again, this requires larger and larger and larger generations of investors continually, so that the monies they give you can be used to continue the scheme, to continue the con. And eventually it's gonna break down under its own weight. They all do, because they're built on vapor. There's nothing real. There's no real production. True investment returns require there to be a consistent and efficient production of wealth. Look at the stock market. Look at any publicly traded company. The value of a share of stock in any publicly traded company is determined by how profitable that company is. Well, how profitable is that company? That company is profitable based on one of two things. Either the company figures out a way to lower costs, or the company figures out a way to increase revenues. Every company is looking at trying to do both. You can lower costs by figuring out more cost-effective resources, different production methods, new innovations in technology, so you can get more out of the same amount of resources. Why do you think companies put so much money in research and development? They're always trying to figure out a better way of doing what they're already doing in order to increase their profit margin. And you're also looking at different markets. Like who is someone that doesn't buy what we sell that we can convince that they can benefit from buying what we sell? Why do you think they put so much money in advertising and marketing? they're always trying to expand their market share, and they're always trying to figure out a better way to do what they're doing. Okay. When they figure out how to do this stuff, they become more efficient. And as they become more efficient and more productive, more profitable, the share of their stock is going to be worth more money. I mean, it's all based on substance. You actually have to do the work and provide value for the share of stock to communicate that. All right. Completely different from a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. There's no production. There's nothing made. There's no value being provided. It's all a con game. All right. Well, what does this have to do with companies like Amway and all those others? Multi-level marketing. Well, it depends. All right. Because some multi-level marketing companies are Ponzi schemes. They sell crap. I mean, it's a joke. And others is substance. Amway's not a joke. Amway actually sells physical products. All right. And whether or not you like the products is up to you. I don't buy anything from Amway. I prefer just to go to Target and get my stuff there, or Walmart, or Kroger. But they aren't a Ponzi scheme. They're a multi-level marketing company. They're not a pyramid scheme, because they actually produce and provide physical goods that do what they say they're going to do. Okay, that's not a vapor. All right, so when you're using these terms, you have to use them correctly. Otherwise, everybody that you are relating with is going to be confused. And we want to minimize confusion. We want to use terms correctly. We don't want to apply things in a way that's going to cause more people to be confused. We don't want confusion. We want fact. Okay, so I hope this helps clear things up, particularly with students of mine who get confused with the difference between an annuity and Social Security, and what is a Ponzi scheme, what is a pyramid scheme, how does that have to do with sales, all that stuff. It is complicated. I mean, I admit it's complicated, but there is an answer, and there is a process, and it makes sense. So let me know if you have any questions. If not, then great. If so, then let's get them answered. Hope you guys are doing well, and talk to you guys later.